Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. In today's video, we're making this one sheet treat box. It's 4 inches across and 4 inches high. The inspiration was a jeans pocket, which obviously they come across like so, but I've had to add a base or a flat element to this piece so that it can actually stand up. This is 1.5 inches deep, but you can change the width of the box or indeed the size of the box once you see how it comes together. I've made this the size it is so that you can get all the pieces out of one sheet of A4 or US letter cardstock, and these angled pieces are full 1/8 of an inch. We don't run into 1/16 at all, which then makes life easier when we come to make the side pieces. You can see I've added a very simple embellishment onto the front of mine. I thought I had some denim coloured paper. I didn't, but what I did have is this cardstock here, which I don't know if you can see, it's got a texture on it, so I thought I would go for more of a stone washed jean look. I had one of these blocks which you use to sand down blending stubs, and I've just taken that sandpaper and gone over the top of the cardstock, and that's taken the surface off the textured element to reveal the white core of the cardstock, and that's given the look of the cardstock here. So if you don't have exactly what you want, you might be able to recreate it just by looking at what you have available in your stash. So as I say, this project comes together relatively quickly and easily, so let's get started. The first piece of cardstock you'll need will be for the front, the lid and the flap that tucks down inside the box. This is 6 inches by 4 inches, and along the 6-inch side, score at 1/2 and 2. I'm going to flip my piece over so I'm working on the reverse. I've rotated it so we're working on the 4-inch side, and my 2 score lines are at the bottom. Along the top edge, make a pencil mark at 1 1/4 and 2 3/4. Rotate it so that your score lines are now over on the left, and make a pencil mark at 5 1/4, and then rotate it 180 degrees so your pencil marks are now over on the left, and mark at 3/4. So these 2 pencil marks will be opposite each other. So that's our first piece. Our second piece is 4 inches by 4 inches. Again, I'm going to work on the reverse. Mark along one of the 4-inch sides at 1 1/4 and 2 3/4. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. The pencil marks are now over on the right hand side, and mark at 3 1/4 inches. Then I'm going to rotate that 180 degrees. So my pencil marks are now on the left and at the bottom, and I'm going to mark at 3/4 of an inch. So this is the back, going to be the back of the box. And then for the sides, I have a piece which is 2.5 times 11. And this is going to give me the 1.5 inch for the box, and then a 1/2 inch glue tab on the left and the right. So if you want to change up the depth of the box, you can amend the width of this strip. So along the short side, we're going to score at 1/2 and 2. Rotate to the long side and score at 3 1/4, 4 3/4, 6 1/4, and 7 3/4. So that's the 3 pieces we need for the box. So we'll start with what is going to be the front. We want to cut between this pencil line on the left down to this pencil line here, and then this pencil line here up to this pencil line here, and that's going to give us our pocket shape, as it were. So you might want to use your craft knife and ruler, go in with your scissors, go in with your trimmer, use whatever method is going to be easiest for you. So I've cut between the 2 marks. Do the same on this side. So that is the shape of our treat box. We're going to fold and burnish along the score lines on this piece. And for personal preference, I'm going to just round off the corners of this tab. So that's the front section of the box. So we next bring in the back section, and again we're going to do exactly the same thing and cut between the two pencil lines to get the shape. So that's our back piece. And next we'll bring in the sides. So we'll fold and burnish on all of the score lines. We're going to cut up each of the score lines within the 1/2 inch section, like so, all the way along, and we'll do that both sides, and then from each of these glue tabs we're going to take a wedge. So this is going to allow us to stick the side sections into both the front and the back. So this is a relatively easy piece to put together. You can change up the look of your pocket. I have made mine the size that I have so that A, you can get it out of one sheet of cardstock, but B, I've cut the shape of the base of the pocket this way so that each of these sides is a full 1/8 of an inch. We're not going to be working on 16, and then that obviously makes the calculation for this strip easier. So now it doesn't matter whether you work on the back or the front first, and I'm just going to add a small finger notch into the top of this piece here. Try and get it central, like so. So now we can just join all our pieces together using whatever adhesive. You can see that the sides are going to come round like so, and then the front and the back are going to sit on the top like so. I'm going to use tape for this, and purely because this cardstock is a little bit textured, and I just think it'll take hold better than with the glue. Start with this piece. And that all slots nicely in there. Now I'm going to do the same for this section. So that is my treat box ready for additional decoration. All I've got for this is I had some flower dies which have got some stitching look around them. I've cut a few of those out and just coloured them in with alcohol markers. I've added some gel pen over the stitch mark just to complete the stitch look, and then I'm just going to add those on the front of the pocket just to add some colour onto the front of those. So I've added my flowers onto the front. Obviously you've got plenty of room to add a lot of elements onto there. You've got space in the lid, you could use the top of the lid to add your sentiment, and you've got all of this space at the back to add a message or a sentiment if you or decorate as you so wish. So there we have today's one sheet project. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.